Hello and welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here with us today. Look, if you manage supported housing or social care services, you already know firsthand that finding the right people is, well, it's anything but easy. The stakes are incredibly high, the requirements are strict, and your margin for error is basically zero. So today we're breaking down the Yvonne Lewis Group's, or YLG's, totally unique approach to staffing. We're going to look at exactly how they're stepping in as a specialist workforce partner to completely rewire how we think about recruitment, vetting, and training in this highly demanding sector.
Right out of the gate, I want to pose a central question directly to the hiring managers tuning in. Fast placements or safe compliance? For years, this has been the industry's biggest myth, right? This deeply ingrained idea that you absolutely have to choose between speed and safety. The old thinking goes, if you want a shift filled by tonight, you just accept whoever the temp agency sends. If you want a fully vetted, sector-aware professional, well, you're going to have to wait weeks. But does it actually have to be that way? Okay, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the supported housing challenge. Second, vetting for quality without compromise. Third, delivering placements fast. Fourth, sector-specific expertise. And finally, elevating the talent pipeline. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Part 1, the Supported Housing Challenge.
As a provider, you know you aren't just filling desks in some generic corporate office. You're dealing with complex human needs and immense responsibilities. And when you're facing those everyday demands, a massive problem usually pops up. It's this constant tug-of-war between the sheer need for speed and the demand for compliance. On one hand, you have empty shifts and short-notice call-outs where you just need boots on the ground, immediately, to keep a service running safely. But on the other hand, you've got incredibly strict regulations and huge safeguarding responsibilities. Generalist agencies usually fail pretty hard here, honestly, because they treat supported housing like general admin temping. They just throw generic CVs at a very complex problem, and ultimately, they leave you, the manager, carrying all the risk.
Which brings us to Part 2, vetting, and getting quality without compromise.
I want you to just let this number sink in for a second. 98%. This is YLG's compliance rate. Consider this an instant credibility anchor for them. In an industry where cutting corners can literally lead to serious safeguarding failures, maintaining a 98% compliance rate absolutely proves that speed does not have to come at the expense of safety. Because they operate entirely within supported housing and social care, they get it. They know compliance isn't just some annoying box-ticking exercise, it is the absolute center of every single placement.
So, how exactly are they achieving this? Well, YLG has compliance checks baked in right from day one. We're talking about enhanced DBS checks, rigorous right-to-work verification, and, this is crucial, a sector awareness assessment. So they aren't just checking if someone is legally allowed to work, they're actively checking if they are psychologically and professionally equipped for the actual realities of supported housing. You're getting reliable, fully work-ready people, not just a stack of generic CVs.
All right, moving to Part 3, speed, and getting those placements delivered fast.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, rigorous vetting sounds amazing, but what if I have a shift starting in 6 hours? Well, rigorous vetting actually doesn't have to mean agonizingly slow placements. It's a remarkably smooth process. Step 1, the candidate uploads their CV. Step 2, YLG uses instant AI job matching technology to pair candidates to live roles. And guys, this happens in 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds. Then Step 3 is a rapid compliant placement. Because the candidates are already pre-vetted to that incredible 98% standard we just talked about, the AI can instantly bridge the gap between your urgent vacancy and a perfectly qualified, fully compliant worker. It's a real game changer.
And honestly, you don't just have to take my word for it. This quote brilliantly illustrates the point. Sarah Brennan, a registered manager at ARC Supported Living, says, YLG filled 3 of our most difficult vacancies within 2 weeks. The candidates were compliant, sector experienced, and settled in quickly. That is powerful social proof right there. It perfectly marries the lightning-fast response times that managers desperately need with the flawless compliance and sector experience they absolutely cannot compromise on.
Let's look at Part 4, sector-specific expertise.
Here's the reality. Speed and compliance are completely useless if the placed staff member walks into a high-needs environment and doesn't intimately understand the specific, nuanced challenges of that setting. Think about the vastly different environments out there: mental health, homelessness services, mother and baby units. The staffing focus required for each of those is wildly different. A worker doing trauma-informed care and crisis response in mental health needs a completely different toolkit than someone providing highly sensitive staffing in a mother and baby unit. YLG focuses on these environments specifically because they understand the real language and the ground-level realities of the supported housing landscape. They don't just send you care workers, they send specialists.
And finally, Part 5, Elevating the Talent Pipeline.
YLG operates on 3 core pillars: supported housing recruitment, social care recruitment, and training. What this means is they don't just want to fill your empty shift tonight and walk away. They're actively working to ensure the long-term sustainability of the entire sector. They act as a comprehensive workforce partner. They aren't a transactional temp agency that just takes a fee and disappears into the night. They're deeply, actively invested in the professional development of the people they place.
A perfect example of this is their Specialist Transition Program. There are literally thousands of amazing care workers out there who just don't realize supported housing could be a fantastic career step up for them, offering more autonomy and incredibly meaningful work. So YLG created a 2-day transition program featuring online and live workshops that teaches independence-focused, non-caring practice to bridge that exact talent gap. They are literally building new, qualified candidates from the ground up.
And they back all of this up with over 100 accredited courses. Through their training arm, YLG offers everything from your day one compliance basics all the way up to advanced leadership development. This just proves a deep structural commitment to sector excellence. They're raising the standard for everyone involved.
So I want to leave you with this final, provocative question. If your current agency is forcing you to choose between speed and safety, is it time to change your standards? You're the one carrying the risk, you hold the safeguarding responsibilities, and as we've seen today, you really no longer have to compromise. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I truly hope this deeper look into how specialized workforce partnerships actually function helps you optimize your own teams going forward.